Your Excellency Danifort, President of the Republic of Seychelles, Designated Minister, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Mr. Themba Nlanganiso Masuku and Madam, Honorable Minister of Labor and Social Development of the Kingdom of Bahrain, Mr. Jamil Humaidan, Honorable Deputy Minister of Social Development of South Africa, Mrs. Henrietta Ipeleng Bogopane Zulu and Mr. Zulu, colleague ministers, Attorney General, Secretaries of State, members of the National Assembly, International Bureau of Education Director of the UNESCO, Principal Secretaries, CEO of IECD, delegates, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is indeed my pleasure and privilege to address you at the Seychelles 5th National and 2nd International Biennial Conference on Early Childhood Care and Education. My thanks go to all the delegates coming from across the globe and to our local participants, not forgetting the speakers and experts who by your presence this evening show the interest that you have in early childhood development. On behalf of the government, I would like to express our most sincere appreciation to Dr. Marope, who has been walking with us, following our progress, and who has graced us at every single edition of the conference since 2011. You are a true friend of Seychelles and a great collaborator. A big round of applause for Dr. Marope, please. Thank you, Doctor, for once again making time to be with us. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are living in a digital age, in a world with technologies, in a world brimming with new technologies. We are talking about a digital revolution transforming our lives, our communities, our societies. In all business sectors and all the spheres of human activity, it has become not just common, but an imperative to collect and analyze data generated from various digital sources for a range of options, from marketing to management. If we take the education and health sectors, there has always been data used to report on infant mortality rate, students' performance, and on growth and development milestones. The difference today is that with rapid advances in technology and the development of analytical tools and techniques, we can generate these data in huge quantities and share them widely, both within and outside of these sectors at an unimaginable speed. We can easily adopt these technologies to gain real-time insight into our children's education, health, and social well-being and provide targeted interventions. However, despite all these brilliant opportunities on offer, we still observe that critical data for national development policy making is still minimal. We notice gaps in areas where the most focus is needed if we want to make steady and sustainable progress. This is true for early childhood care and education, where diverse sources of data are particularly important. We need to have clear evidence to shed light on the effectiveness of services we deliver to children. We need the right information to guide the decisions we take that may affect their future. We need credible information to gauge progress vis-à-vis their education, health, and well-being. Beyond national borders, we need to access adequate data to compare what we are doing as a country, as a government, with what other countries are doing, those countries that are offering similar programs and services. For this conference, we have renowned practitioners and experts who for the next 2 days will be engaged in dialogue on the critical issues around what we call big data for small children. They come from diverse backgrounds, and they will be sharing knowledge and expertise, promoting best practices in the exciting and challenging domain of data collection and management in early childhood care and education, as well as other disciplines. It is an opportunity not to be missed, as we in Seychelles are exploring ways to build more robust and reliable data collection, monitoring, and reporting systems as a critical component for effective ECC policy and programs. The call to strengthen the ECC monitoring and evaluation mechanisms was made by none other than President Faure himself, who was then VP, at the launch of the 3rd National Biennial Conference, when he stated, and I quote, "In order to continue making informed decisions and sound policies, relevant and timely data is of critical importance, and it should be generated through continuous monitoring and evaluation, as well as research activities." End of quote. Through our participation in the EFA global monitoring exercises led by UNESCO, and in other international surveys, we have found out that in some aspects of the policy levers, data availability and reporting mechanisms were deficient. Assessment of previous national plans has also shown that there is a need to monitor the effects of our programs on the holistic development of our young children, to provide evidence of outcome, achievement, and the effectiveness of these programs, and to judge the perception and views of professionals and parents on the appropriateness of mechanisms and structures established. This has prompted us to incorporate research as one of the main components of project implementation in the last National Action Plan for ECC 2017-2018. The aim has been to make effective use of data collection procedures to measure change and develop indicators for reporting. This has created new awareness of the opportunities that data present and provided new in-depth and analytical manner of addressing issues that can enhance the monitoring and evaluation processes. This conference will build on this and provide the platform to broaden our perspectives on global practices and trends in data management in early childhood development. It will also be a means of exploring ways we can harness the power of big data for sustainable solutions and development in ECCE. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that early childhood is the most critical period in our children's lives. What happens during this period lays the foundation for their future. The data we gather, that we use, and that we keep on what happens during this period is invaluable in making sense of their development and in the provision of the most appropriate education and care systems that will prepare them for that future. In Seychelles, since our participation in the 2010 UNESCO World Conference on ECCE, we are moving from strength to strength and are continuing in our efforts to give our children the best in terms of opportunities and experiences. As a nation, we have always believed that our children are our greatest untapped resource, and that through sustained ECCE actions, we have the power to transform our society and prepare a bright and prosperous future for them. Embracing this, we have invested a lot in their well-being. Our health, education, and social indicators bear testimony to this. In order to ensure that we continue to enhance early childhood care and education, we decided that all partners should be on board, because early childhood development cuts across all sectors and agencies. The 2011 National Biennial Conference on ECC was the first occasion in this country to bring together different interest groups, nationally and internationally to discuss and debate issues, to construct knowledge related to integrated intersectoral planning and service delivery for our young children's development. It served as a springboard. Since then, we've been making steady progress. During the Seychelles' first International Biennial Conference in 2017, the work of ICD was internationally recognized and commended. It was conferred the status of an ECC Best Practice Hub by the International Bureau of Education of the UNESCO. That was one of the greatest achievements we made in that sector. We are now engaged in the process of its establishment as a Category 2 center under the auspices of UNESCO, widening its scope to regional and global dimensions. If we look back on the road traveled, we can be proud of the amount and level of work undertaken and the commitment and dedication of those involved, but above all, in the collaboration and partnerships that we have forged over the years. We have been true to the recommendations of the 2010 Moscow Framework for Action and Cooperation in both the nature of work to be done and the way to go about it. We are full of optimism on the way forward. We will embrace the excellent opportunity presented by this conference to broaden our know-how as well as share the journey we have traveled. To conclude, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to IB UNESCO for once again co-hosting this conference, to the international experts who will be there for sharing their insights. My appreciation also goes to the National Organizing Committee, the ICD, the lead ECC sectors, and other partners for their invaluable sectors. Together, we will continue to provide a strong and willing start for every Seychellois child. It is now my pleasure to declare the second International Biennial Conference on Early Childhood Care and Education open. I thank you for your attention.